7 o'clock. I'm going to start the recording and call this meeting to order. And we will begin with the approval of our agenda. I don't believe there's anything to add. Sorry. Mr. Bransoy, is there anything to add to the agenda?
I don't think, Jill, I don't think there's anything to add. It's that I have any items anyway.
Okay, I didn't think so, but I thought I would just ask.
Thank you.
So, yes. So with that, could I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Bookdill.
Motion is made by Bookdill. And I will second.
Second.
And is there any discussion or any questions about anything on the agenda? All right, hearing nothing, we'll vote and we'll begin with Tracy.
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Okay, she's up. Melissa?
Aye.
Sandy?
Aye.
And I don't think we have Jeff yet. And I myself, I am an aye, so motion carries. Recognition of visitors to the board meeting. Thank you all for coming out. It must be, is it the end of the quarter? Or yes, must be the end of the quarter. So this is great. Great to have so many seniors here. So welcome. We'll try to keep it short and sweet. Public forum. This is a time on our agenda when if you have something you'd like to address the board about, it's time of listening for the board. So we ask you to unmute yourself and state your name. We'll give you 2 minutes of time. And we take up to 5 people, so up to 10 minutes of time. So if anybody would like to speak, please unmute yourself and state your name. And we'll put you in the order you would like to speak. So would anyone like to speak? All right, going once, going twice. We will move on. And we're at our consent items. And our consent items, we just need one motion to approve all of these things. So what we're going to approve is the bills for payment and the minutes from the November 23rd, November 30th. Both, well, November 23rd was a regular meeting. November 30th was both the truth and taxation hearing and the special meeting after that. December 7th, which was a special meeting, and December 14th, which also was a special meeting. There have been a lot of meetings, so that's what we will be approving in our consent items. So with that, could we get a motion to approve?
So moved. Sagatol.
Motion is made by Sagatol,
Second. Bullion.
seconded by Boleen. Any discussion or questions about any of those things?
I have one, just one here. There's a payment to Southwest State University for $19,800. What's that for?
That would be our students, our post-secondary program, where students are registered and taking college classes. And so
Okay.
that's part of the post-secondary education program.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Any other questions? All right, hearing nothing, we will vote. We'll begin with Jamie.
Aye.
Melissa.
Aye.
Sandy.
Aye.
Tracy.
Aye.
And I myself, I am an aye. Motion carries. Moving on to personnel, which we don't have anything under personnel, correct? Right. So we'll move on to reports with Mr. Bransoy, starting with our superintendent's report.
Okay, I got 4 items I want to speak to tonight. First one is the Bold website, and as you remember, our meeting last Monday night, the referendum amount for the bond was set, and so we haven't been able to launch this site until that was complete, and so that got completed. And so on Tuesday, last Tuesday, the Be Bold Step Up website was launched, and so there's lots of information on there. I hope you've had an opportunity to go through it and spend some time on it, but it really reviews a lot of the things that we've been going over the last year or two and dealing with our facilities And so that's information that goes out to everyone. And so I suggest for people to go on the website and take a look at it. The tax of the project, the cost of the project is listed there. There's a sample or a sample that of scales of the cost of different particles of land or homes or buildings and such. And so that is a chart that is put together. We do have and going to have, it's not up and running yet, but the tax calculator. And so when that is complete, they're working on that with the county officials and with the person we work with Baird Financial. When they get that complete, you'll have that calculator running. So anybody in the district that owns property, all they have to do is take their tax statement, the real estate tax statement, look at the property number, put that into that calculator, and it'll tell you the impact. And so it's really a good, accurate way of getting actually what it is will cost you. So that isn't quite ready yet, and that couldn't be done until after the exact amount was set, and then they'll get it put together. So it shouldn't be long. I was hoping it'd be on by the end of last week, but it didn't make it. So they're working on it right now. So take some time and take a look at it, recommend it to others, and have discussions on what's on there. And if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. So the second item was the MSBA Annual Leadership Conference is coming. It's at home. It's at home edition. And so you should have gotten a flyer out about it. It's Pivot is the name of it. So it looks like it's got some very good speakers that they're presenting virtually. So, but they've set it up where it'll be held 3 virtual Thursday mornings from January 14th to 21st to 28th from 8 till 12. And so if you're interested or can have time to attend any of those sessions, let Joy in the Audit District Office know, and she'll take care of the registration. So, but they are requiring you to register. And so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that all develops. And it's going to be a good conference the way it looks. So the third item is our district learning plan update. This past week on Wednesday, the governor had a press release, and the State Department talked with all the superintendents of the state prior to that. And then the governor came out with his release and looking at learning plans and what options the district has. And so I've asked Jim and Brett to share us on that. We've been having, we've got an advisory COVID council that parent advisory and community members and staff that have done an outstanding job in working through this pandemic. And Jim has been the one that's been leading that. And I think they've had good discussions and trying to understand what is going into making those decisions. And then they have input into that. And then, so they really have done a good job with it and helping us get the information out to the public. So I'm going to let Jim and Brett share a little bit about what the State Department and what the governor set up for our plan and where that's taking us as a district. So if you want to go ahead, one of you, both.
Sure. I guess, Dale, do you want me to talk about what we were talking about today?
Yes. I sent out to the board this week and what we'd had originally set up. And so kind of a calendar. And so they're aware of that. So maybe you can just pick up on where our discussion today now.
Okay. So when we sent out our initial plan last Friday and announced what we were hoping to be able to do, and we were a little concerned because we sort of made some of our own assumptions, as I said, and as it turned out, we're actually going to be able to do better than we were hoping for. The state has really changed a lot of what they've been requiring for this transitioning back. And they admit that the plan they developed was really much more directed towards the metro area schools, which shouldn't be a shock to us. Everything at Minnesota or the education department decides is usually aimed at the metro schools. So we're going to stick with the week of the 11th for coming back. We're going to not only bring pre-K through grades 2 back on the week of the 11th, but we're also going to invite all students that are failing classes, English language learners, special ed, and I'm forgetting something in there, homeless, to come to the building starting on that week. They'll be able to come all 4 days that week. So we'll still have the Wednesday schedule where everybody's distance learning, but they'll be able to come Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday of that week to help start getting caught up. The following week, we're going to go to, we're going to bring grades 3 and 4 back, as well as start hybrid learning in grades 7 through 12. So this is another big change from what we sent out last Friday, and we'll be sending this out later this week to everybody, all parents and students. So again, so the following week, which is the week of the 19th, it's a 3-day week. We'll have grades 3 and 4 coming back, as well as 7 through 12 starting hybrid learning. And then the following week, everybody else is back. So we'll still be hybrid learning in grades 7 through 12. We'll be full in-person learning in all of the lower grades. And one thing I want to point out that I didn't mention last Friday is that we are required by the state to provide an extra half hour per day of planning time to each teacher who's teaching in either distance learning or hybrid learning. So when we come back with the high school, we're in grades 7 through 12 anyway, we're still going to need to be providing those teachers with that time. That's what the state is mandating. It's not necessarily what we want to do, so we will still be having that Wednesday for shortened classes in the morning, and then an early out in the afternoon to give teachers their time for prep required by government.
Jim, you forgot to say the 5th and 6th grade. So grades 3 through 6 will be coming back on that 19th.
I just left that one for you. You go ahead.
Appreciate it. So yeah, we'll go pre-K2 January 11th, and then grades 3 through 6 on January 19th. And they'll be back all in person.
You mean the 18th? Just curious.
18th is a professional development day off.
Copy. Thank you.
The 18th was listed on our calendar as a day of professional development. So we'll continue with that as a scheduled day for staff. Anything else for Jim or Brett? I think when we all heard what the governor and the State Department came with on that day, Wednesday, we thought they must have called Mr. Benson because he already had that plan in place for his elementary staff. And so I think that was a very complimentary to him, and that he was looking at how can we transition students back in a orderly and safe fashion after the Christmas break. And he'd done a lot of work on that, and he'd come forward with it a week ago. And so we're going to be able to continue with that plan now, and we'll develop it, and it might change again once or twice. The more we think about it, the more we see it. But the other thing that I think what Mr. Minton was talking about is the students that are struggling with distant learning. And So we're having a lot of students, more than we would like, struggling with that and really not getting work complete on time and not getting it turned in. And so it's really impacting their credits. And so he started last week bringing in the opening up to having students come in and work during the day. And so far they've had a number that have come in and they're working in the gym. They all each have an individual table set up. There's a teacher there we've hired to monitor it. And I talked with them today and they're doing well. So I think I'm glad to see that. I do not like the idea that the students are going to fail. And so we're going to give them every opportunity you can to make up the work that they have lost in doing so far. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do with the distant learning. So any questions about where we are with our program at this point?
I got a question. Do all of our teachers then come to the school and actually teach from their classroom, or are they teaching from home?
They're both, some are teaching at their classrooms and some are at home doing it. And so
that's to their basic discretion what they want to do, or?
they have their regular schedule for the day. And so they go through every period and the students are expected to be with them every period of the day. And so, but some teachers have elected to be able to do it at home. But we still have a lot that are in the buildings also. I don't know if Jim or Brett, you want to react to that or respond? Did I summarize it well enough?
Yeah, I think so. We've got a few teachers that have been at home all year because they're either they've got their own health issues or they are living with people with health issues. So, that's been part of what we need to do to make this work.
Yeah, no, it was just a question. Okay.
And that's also, when we bring students back in, and this is shared with the State Department, the governor's reactions to it also, is not just providing a safe environment for our kids, but also the staff. And so we have to be careful when we bring groups back in the building and that our staff will stay healthy and we can help them so that they can be in the classroom. So they've got plans, the state's got guidelines there of testing every 2 weeks for our staff. And so we're doing that. We'll be changing our policy on masks and shields. And so there's several parts of that came out last week. So anything else that you two would like to offer? Any other questions?
We're just excited to be able to have people coming back to the building. We've invited any students that are currently failing classes to be coming to the building right now. So they're meeting in the gym. Some of the teachers that are teaching from the building are able to work with them one-on-one a little bit. But more than anything, it's that structure that a lot of them are missing at home. I talked to one kid that is a very good student, gets very good grades, but was struggling, had an F in one of the classes. And I asked, well, why are you here? And he said just that there's too many distractions at home and he can't focus. So this is good for a lot of kids. And I'm glad that we're moving forward again.
Okay, very good. No more questions. And the last item I had was our January 4th meeting is at 6 o'clock. It's our organizational meeting. We need to have that first, have it done or completed if at all possible, the first week of January in order we can continue with our business. And so that will be scheduled for 6 o'clock on January 4th. And at that meeting, then we'll have an agenda, we'll elect officers and set dates for our regular board meetings and then conduct other business items. And one of the items that will be on the agenda that normally is not on it will be, we need to select judges. So we hope to have that list ready for the February 9th election. And so hopefully we'll have that list ready for you. Joy's working on it right now, so hope to have it ready for your approval. So, okay. Any other questions? If not, Jill, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, moving on to our elementary principals report with Mr. Benson. If there's anything you would like to add, or Mr. Benson, or if there are any questions that anyone has for Mr. Benson.
I'll talk about the childcare first. That's kind of what my report was all about. The childcare this year was a little bit different. We split them up into grade levels, which has really helped us and really helped the students. Our first couple weeks, we were right around that 30 mark, so 30 total students that we had. And then the last couple weeks, we've been pushing that 40 to 42 mark. I mean, I can't thank Margaret's staff and Denny's staff enough for, oh, hey, we've got 2 more kids coming today. Without them, it'd be a struggle for us to do that. So more props to them than what they're getting. And then I guess with us bringing students back, there's a couple stricter guidelines for us that to follow, that we'll have to follow, I guess, is they don't want the elementary students to leave the classroom other than a recess or phy ed. So that's going to be a little bit different of a change for us, but everything else, 6 feet apart, we've been doing all that. So it's not going to be a huge issue for us.
All right, any questions for Mr. Benson? Okay, thank you very much for the report. And thank you for the job that you were doing, and Danny and Margaret, of course, and all their staff. So thank you very much. Mr. Menton with the high school principals report.
All right, well, this is gonna be the praise Margaret report, because I've already mentioned the first thing in my report was the what we're doing for kids that are failing classes right now. But then I just talking to Margaret today, we were talking about the free lunches and breakfast that they've been sending out. And I was really surprised to find out that today, because I didn't realize they were going to do this, they actually sent out 8 lunches with kids today, 3 for this week. And then they've got lunches and breakfast covered for all of next week as well. So they've been working really hard in there. And they've been getting really good at it. At first, it was like, let's try not to talk too loudly around them. They were very stressed out, and it was a lot of work. But now it seems like they're having a lot of fun, and I'm pretty impressed. They even recognize the cars of people coming up, and so they're yelling out, "Oh, it's the Hansons," and they know that they need 2 meals or whatever. So it's nice to see, and I'm glad we've been able to offer that. And then also after school was over, she came and found me, and it turns out that she received a check for $750 from Beck's Hybrid Seeds Employees Christmas Fund. And Beck's gave the $750 to help pay for students who are unable to cover their lunch accounts. And that's very much appreciated. Every year we have students that can't do it, and if either we pay that out of the general fund, or we have to somehow force them to come up with money they don't have. So this is really nice when private companies make donations like this, because they really get put to good use. Last year, I think it was a check for $2,500. So and I was wondering where that all went at the beginning of the year, because I was going to use some of that for iPad fees, but it was used up last year because there's a need. So Margaret had to create a video to receive this money. I don't know what that meant, but Margaret, I don't know if you want to say anything about that, or nope, I didn't think so. But I don't know. I'm picturing it was like a music video, but I don't know.
Oh,
That's all I have. If anybody has questions for me.
all right.
How many students are you guys serving for lunches, you guys? Totally.
Margaret, you're going to have to answer that.
Approximately.
Text me and I'll say it out loud if you like.
We were packing out meals for 202 meals we were
Wow.
from the time we went to distance learning. And when we were hybrid learning, we were packing out about 80 meals for our
Wow.
7th through 12th grade. So
Excellent job.
Yes.
Yeah, good
Thank you.
job.
Yeah. Thank you, Margaret. I kind of want to hear more about the video, but maybe you can. jump in there.
I just had to do a video to show off our school. So Brittany helped me. She videotaped me and we did outside the school building, showed our football field, our playground, and then showed the entrance to our buildings, and then did a little spiel as to why Bold deserved to have a donation to help our students.
Cool.
And then they played it for their workers at their Christmas program or at their Christmas party, so they could decide if they chose us or whoever else was up for being chose to donate money to.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Work.
Thanks for all the work that you've been doing and the principals and everybody. It's appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Excellent, Margaret.
All right, moving on to our activities report with Mr. Flan. If he has anything to add, I know it's short and sweet and I can't hear you, Derek. I know you. It's all good. Okay, okay. Do you have any questions for Mr. Flan? Otherwise, I mean, his report is short and sweet and to the point, and hopefully they will know more as we go here with sports, but
Derek, I do have a question for you. So I see that you have spring season tournaments will end around June 20th. Do you have that spring schedule already figured out? I'm just thinking graduation wise.
I don't think,
I don't know if he can hear you.
I don't think,
I don't know. You're there and you're not muted.
Turn your volume up.
okay,
You can't hear him for some reason, but
in here. We'll get the answer to you.
yes.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to our community pool. The report is in your file there. There's really nothing going on until the governor allows them to reopen. So if you have any questions, please contact Tracy. All right, moving on. Oh, I skipped school board committee report. If there's anything anyone would like to report on school board committee wise, I don't know if there have been any committees that have met, but if anybody would have anything to report on, this would be the time to do so. I do see that Jeff is not here tonight, but this would be his last meeting. I don't know if he's going to be able to attend tonight, but I will have to send him a card or something to commend him for all of his years of service and all the time he's committed to the board and thank him for that. So Sandy, you can probably pass along, but I will definitely send him a card as well. So
Yeah, he was supposed to be on. He said he was going to try, but I don't know where he was going to
okay.
be.
Well, if we get down by the end, I'll say it all again. So
Yeah, I think he's been on I'm not sure he was going to check again today, but I don't know if he did, but I think it was like over 16 years.
okay.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds about right. So
So
Wow.
long time.
yes.
A long time.
Yes, thank you. John.
So, all right, we will move on to new business. And number one, review committee organization and assignments, which is enclosure number one.
If you want to take a look at that enclosure, that's the committee alignment as of this past year. And that's a list of the committees we had and then also the members on different advisory groups throughout the district is also on the back side of it. So take a look at that. This is what we'll look at for next, for the January 4th meeting. And we'll take a look at if you want to, there's going to be some changes on some of those. And so take a look at it and see what committees you'd like to, if you want to switch committees or what you'd like to do, and you can do that. Also, there's one I advise or I'm recommending, whether you would want to or not, that you can think about between now and the 4th. But I gave you a list of the policy 213, which is school board committees. We do not have a bold policy, but I think it would be good to put a policy of that in place. So this would be a first reading of it tonight, and you can take a look at it. But I think you should have that as a guide, as what committees you want as far as bold public schools. So I would add one there, and that's one that I've had in other districts, is a board governance committee. And really what it consists of is simply the board chair and the vice chair. And really it's a support person, people that can work with the chair. And when the chair needs some advice or wants to talk to somebody, that would be the person that they would go to. So it's would be called the board governance committee. Also, I would see right now, we've got several staff members, employees that are single, have a single contract. They do not belong to a union. Your supervisors. And I'm talking about our community ed director, activities director, our grounds, building and grounds individual, food service director. These are all independent contracts. And I think right now, the superintendent's role is to negotiate those contracts, but I think it'd be good to have this committee, the chair and the vice chair, be two people that could be on that committee also and work with the negotiation on that. So I would add that to that group also, that committee. So you can take a look at it, but the other ones are consistent with what we have had. And so if there's any reason you'd want to change any of that, take a look at it between now and January 4th, and then we can move forward with it. So, okay, any questions on that? That's an annual thing. We always take a look at that in January, and then look at it in December, and then act on it in January. So, okay.
Dale, I got a quick question.
Yeah.
Okay, now we got a whole list of committees here. We're already doing, half of them don't even meet now. So why would we want to add another one? That
Depends
doesn't
on
really
the
probably
purpose
ever
of-
meet. It's like you have all these
Well, I think what Mr. Brand,
committee.
I just to answer what, like he said in his very end of his thing was, he has worked with a group of, when he's done all those individual contracts. In my time on the board, it's always been the superintendent has taken those contracts, and Mr. Bransoy has worked with a couple of members of the board for that, for like those individual contracts. It's not all on him then. I mean, it's shared with a group that also should be involved. So I think that's probably more than anything. That's probably, and it's also a group that maybe a smaller group that he can call on and just say, okay, give me your take on this or whatever. I mean, he can do that with board members too, but I guess that's kind of where I feel like he was coming from. And also, I guess I see the need for it, but we can go through some of these other committees, and definitely, there are some that don't meet.
But doesn't he already do that with you, Jill? I mean, he confers with you on a lot of different things. So it's not like you have to put it in writing because he's already doing it anyway, correct?
Right, but I think it's more, to me, it's more for those contracts to have more help with that. So,
And this one would be adding one more set of ears and eyes with the vice chair involved. Is
right.
that correct, Dale? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would look. And you look at that list of committees, we did this last year too. We removed some that were not meeting. But I look at the committees, facilities and finance committee, and meet and confer, the two negotiations committees, policy review, they're all committees, I think that depending, the action of the board, what we're looking at, I think would meet. We'll be meeting again with negotiations again with the EA. That's, we just settled that contract. We're working with the AFSCME group, waiting for them to come back with a proposal. And our facilities committee has met often, and our finance committee meets every time we're talking budget. We've met one meet and confer. So I think it's narrowed down to the committees I think that probably are important. If you can eliminate some, that's okay with me too. But I think the board governance one is just that I think it gives your board chair, whoever it is, support to who do I go to when I have questions. And it's just a colleague that they can work with. So, and also I think I've been negotiating the individual contracts, and I think it would be good to have two more people involved with that. I think that would help out my position anyway.
Just a question, Mr. Bransoy, on the policy here. Do we need to add the bold negotiations, bold MSEA also to this one, to the policy? Because that's not listed currently.
That union has been merged with AFSCME.
Okay, that's right. I knew that.
And that they no longer have that one. So I checked on that today also when I was looking at this list. I thought, wait a minute now, because they went together. The non-licensed people are all in one union now. And so they've got the cooks, the food service, the paras, the custodial staff are all under, and secretaries are all under the AFSCME union now. So they still have their master agreements are separate. There's two master agreements, but they're one union handles their negotiations. So.
Right. So policy wise, the first side is what we need to have. I mean, these are the committees that we, by our policy, we have to have or should have. The back side is where really, I mean,
that's just advisors. It's a rep on those committees that should be active committees. I know that the athletics and activities there, I know that Derek has used that committee and has had the board rep speaking there. I don't know that we've had a book review since I've been here, but the community advisory, I think Derek has called that group, that board rep together. And so if there's some other ones, Jill, you work with the Little Cross Telemedia. And so it's more just representatives. I think the MSBA Legislative Network, Jill is on that, but that's a committee that should get active. I think it's a time consuming thing. And so I think that would be a good committee for the board to focus on, some with all the rules that legislature works with and impacting high school league or the state education system. We got the high school league representatives with Melissa and Jeff were on that as an alternative. So I think you can go through those and eliminate some if you don't need them. That's what we can do for next in January.
I know, just looking at like culture committee, that was kind of formed under a real need, and I'm not really sure that it's relevant anymore, but I mean, I haven't met for a long time. So yeah, it's definitely something to talk more about
maybe for our January 4th meeting, you people can make this decision, but it'd probably be good to take a look at all those committees and who's representing them, say, oh, we never meet or we do meet, and maybe just to summarize and maybe eliminate ones that we don't need, but
Mhm.
that'd be a good idea.
Agreed.
We can talk about it. Thank you.
All right, moving on to number 2 under new business. Approved contracts for 2019-2021, and our first one is Derek Flan, Community Ed Coordinator. It's enclosure number 2. And I'd be looking for a motion. I will make the motion to approve that.
I'll second that motion, Jill.
Seconded by Bookdahl. Any questions or discussion on that?
Well, I got a question. Yeah, I do. Okay, so there's 2 contracts here. When we gave to the teachers, we gave them each $2,000, correct? Each teacher got $2,000 for their raise. So wouldn't it be fair if the rest of them, we did the same thing to them? Because the one here is 1,500, the other one's 2,000.
We tried to look at percentages and not the dollar amount. And we tried to give them a equivalent percentage. And that's what I shared with you in their agreement. And so it also, we have to, that's when you look at an individual contract, you also have to look at the position they're in and what comparable schools are paying. We do the same thing as we do with the teacher's salary. So that's what we tried to do with these. Lindsay and I have worked on it with Derek and Denny, and trying to make them so we're competitive with the area. And so it's easy to limit or cut back on this area, but these are very important individuals. They provide a lot of leadership with our district. So I think we need to, they're doing an excellent job and we need to protect them. And so I look at the percentages more than the dollar figure. And so that's what's comparable to what the teachers got.
Well, I'm not, I think, yeah, all these people go over and above, but I just don't want the teachers to feel like we're looking at them going, oh, you didn't do as much or don't do as much. So we're only giving you 2,000 and these other contracts were given more. I just want to be fair about it across the board is what my thoughts are, because you don't want to make someone else feel like they're less than what they are. You know what I mean?
And you also have to look at Derek's contract too, as 220-day contract to the teachers have a 180-day contract or 178. So you look at that too, and you look at all those things what are in the contract. His contracts are different than a teacher's contract. So I think you'll find the same as if we start working with the para contracts or the custodial contracts. They're all different because they're at different levels. And so I think we need to take them all and take a look. I don't think you can set a dollar figure. I try and go with a percent that's similar. And that's where I think we try and be as fair as we can.
All right, any other?
The only comment I have is I believe that these 2 contracts have a lot of catching up to do with when we're comparing to people in the same positions in different districts. I can speak on behalf of my previous experiences, and I just know there's a lot of catching up to do, and I know we're gonna keep working on that. So I appreciate Derek doing this job for what it's at right now.
Derek's been here for several years now, and his salary as an athletic director, community ed coordinator is the lowest of all the area schools. And one of
By
the
thousands of dollars.
and one of the neighboring schools just hired an AD last year and is making more than what Derek is. So that's, when you go into
Okay.
negotiations, this is what you look at. It's not just a simple dollar amount or a percent, but it's also, you've got to be competitive with your workforce, just like we do with the teachers. We want to stay competitive with our neighbors. If we let that go, then we get behind. And this is with these two contracts. And we've got our food service contract I'm working on, and that's another one I think that is behind. And so I think we have to realize, respect the people that are in these positions and take care of them. That's
Well,
what
if that's the case, let's do it.
I think so.
I mean, I guess I didn't realize, I mean, I don't go around asking everybody what they
No.
make, and I'm not saying Derek, I mean, Derek does a great job. All the stuff, Derek, you've had to do in the last year and a half here, change and rearrange, start over and do it. I mean, you guys
Yeah.
have a lot going on there, but I wasn't looking at you're not doing your job. Don't get me wrong there, or that you don't deserve it, because you do. I just don't want the teachers to feel lessened by, we give them so much and then we give somebody else more.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's
I'm a
what-
fair person. I like to be fair with everybody, and I want everybody to be happy, and I want to be fair about everything. So that's kind of the way where I was looking at, but I didn't realize the wage was that low compared to other schools. And if that's the case, well, then we need to do something about that. So thank you for all you did the last year and a half with all the sports stuff, because it was chaotic, I'm sure. So.
Every morning I sit down with Derek, he's putting another schedule together, it seems. So what you're saying is very true. I can't believe it. I said, why don't you just forget about it for a while? But you can't do that. So no, I thank both of these, Derek and Denny, and that's what I think it would be helpful if a couple of the board would be part of that committee too, and then they can hear this same thing. And because we talk about this in negotiations, and that's what I work with when I compare. And so I do know that when you have good people in good supervisory type positions, you don't want to let them go. Your school is run by those people, and they're both very important, these positions. So thanks for the questions, and I hope we can keep trying to play catch up here and get caught up. And so I'll give them, they did the same things the teachers did the first year, because we're a year behind, took zero for a raise. So they did not have a raise the whole first 12 months of this contract. And so they went along with putting it all onto the second year. And so I thank them for that. That was a savings for the district. And so I appreciate that. And the district should be very appreciative that they're willing to do that. So thanks. You do a good job, both. Denny's the next one. Or you have an approval on this, I suppose,
We
Joe?
haven't even voted yet, so I'd like to do that first, and then
Okay.
then we'll move on. So with that, any other discussion? All right, hearing nothing, we'll vote. We'll start with Melissa.
Aye.
Sandy, Tracy,
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Thank you. And I myself, I am an aye. Motion carries. And then we move on to the activities director report, director contract, which is enclosure number 3. So, which is also Mr. Flan. So,
I'll make a motion.
thank you. Motion is made by Boleen. And I will second that. Any discussion or questions about this one? All right, hearing nothing, we will vote, and we'll start with Sandy.
Aye.
Tracy,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Melissa,
Aye.
and I myself, I am an aye. Motion carries. And then we move on to Denny Spielman, Director of Buildings and Grounds, enclosure number 4, his contract.
I'll make the motion to approve that.
Thank you, Tracy.
Second.
seconded by Boleen. Any questions about Denny's contract? Like to thank Denny for all of the work that he does above and beyond every single day, even before the pandemic. So thank you very much for all that you do.
So basically Denny's is the same scenario as Derek's, like he's kind of falling behind also, like you said.
That's right,
Oh.
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for asking.
All right, any other questions? All right, hearing nothing else, we will vote and we'll begin with Tracy.
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Melissa,
Aye.
Sandy,
Aye.
and I myself, I am an aye. Motion carries. Number 3 under new business is adopt the 2020 payable 2021 property tax levy. The proposed 20 payable 21 levy. You can see, well, actually can't see here, but it is down, what, 19% from what it has been, correct? Mr. Bransoy?
Yes, and you can take a look at it's the proposed levy for this coming year, and every one of the funds is in a minus this year, which is that's, I don't know if I've ever seen that with a levy report. So that's good news. And one, the debt service, as you know, that right now we're debt free. So that is a significant drop. And so, but look at all the areas is the general fund, the community service, the debt service, which is all part of the levy. And these are all set by state formulas. It involves the county and district and all your decisions, and it all goes into formulas. And I was showing it to Mr. Benson this afternoon, or no, not Benson, Mr. Minton. And I said, and I showed him it's 40 pages. So if you want to go through it and figure out all the formulas, I've got a copy for you. So it's interesting how everything is so interwound with net evaluations. I find it kind of interesting if you can follow it. And the guy that knows it
You
best
need
is
sleeping,
retiring.
you're saying.
So, anyway, okay.
If you need help sleeping, you should read that. Right?
Yes.
All right,
It's negative 19.95.
which is a good thing. Okay, so with that, I will make the motion to approve that if I can get a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any questions or further discussion about the proposed payable 21 levy? Hearing nothing, we will vote and we'll start with Jamie.
Aye.
Melissa,
Aye.
Sandy,
Aye.
Tracy,
Aye.
and I myself, I am an aye. Motion carries. Number 4, upcoming dates, and I checked these to make sure they were right. January 4th, 2021 is our organizational meeting at 6 p.m. and January 25th, 2021 is our regular meeting at 7 to be determined in terms of, I'm sure it'll be on Zoom, but we will, if there's anything more to know there, we will let you know. Number 9, adopt a resolution to acknowledge and accept gifts, grants, and requests. Unfortunately, we don't have any, but apparently my Adobe Flash is wanting to update. Oh, go away.
I've got a question on that, Jill.
Okay.
That gifts and what? Well, last month I gave $2,000 or $200 to the ECFE program. Did they get that, or how does that come into play?
Where did it come? Where did it go? Where did you give it to?
ECFE boosters.
That's a booster program.
Oh, okay. So that doesn't, that,
Yep.
okay. I just wanted to make sure they got it. So how do you find that out? Just
I
call
guess I
Lindsay.
would talk to, who did you give it to?
Joy.
I know they did receive it.
Okay.
Oh, okay, good.
Thank you, Derek.
Okay.
I
Okay.
spoke with Lindsay and they were using it for their December bags for the stuff they were putting in there. So
Yep. Okay, good. Good. All right.
thanks for the donation, Sandy, and thanks for the clarification, Derek. All right, with that, we have come to the end of our agenda.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Motion is made by Boleen. Oh, you know what? And who is here? Jeff. So we're gonna let him in quick. And then we're gonna say thank you to him. And then we're gonna adjourn. Wait.
Better late than never.
Am I on?
Jeffrey, yes, hello.
Hi.
We were just making the motion to adjourn. So,
Oh,
but before
no,
we,
sorry.
no, it's okay. Before we do that though, I do want to thank you, Jeff, for all of your years, your 16 years of service to the board, and for all of the time and headaches and everything you've done on the Bold School Board. We really have to thank you for that. That's a lot of commitment, as all of us know. I mean, it's not just showing up to this meeting. So thank you very much for your time that you've taken and for the care that you have brought to your service as a Bold School Board member.
Thank you,
Well,
Jeff.
thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
And you seriously showed up at the exact perfect time.
Well, that's what I'm known for, Joe.
Yeah, you're good timing for sure.
Hey, and I just wanted to say
Thank you,
one.
Jeff.
Yes, thank you, Jeff, very, very much. I wanted to say, I don't know if you guys, if all of you have Facebook, even like you seniors, if you go to the Bold website, Joan Solon put a really cute YouTube video on there. Go check it out. It's pretty fun.
Very cute.
Okay,
It's very cute. Okay, so Jamie made the motion to adjourn. Jeff, would you like to second that?
Sure.
Your last time?
For your last time. All right.
Officially on the record, right?
Yes, you have got the record for sure. So, okay, with that, we will vote and we'll begin with Jeff,
Aye.
Tracy,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Melissa. I don't know if we lost Melissa. Maybe she's, I think she is maybe frozen. Could be.
looks like it.
I'm gonna say she's an aye. And I am also an aye. Motion carries. And at 7:57, thank you all and have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you all.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes.